Hello, everyone. Warmest welcomes to the Holy Comforter Episcopal Church YouTube Bible study. I'm Jimmy Abbott, the priest here at Holy Comforter Episcopal Church in Spring, Texas. I'm so glad that you've joined me again for these brief reflections and questions for you about the gospel lesson for this upcoming Sunday, which is taken from the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 13, verses 31 through 33 and 44 through 52. It's a little bit of a mashup from the past few weeks, and these are the parables of the kingdom that we get from Jesus. I just want to say that these parables, they're short, but they border on the absurd, right? The kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed, the smallest of all seeds. The kingdom of heaven is like a woman who makes 50 pounds of bread. The kingdom of heaven is like a man who sells everything he owns in order to buy just one pearl. The kingdom of heaven is like good fish and bad fish. I didn't know that there were bad fish in the ancient world. So it's absurd, and that's kind of the point here, is that these parables stretch our minds, right? They are Jesus giving us this hyperbole, this exaggeration to help us understand the bigness and the grandness of God and of the kingdom of heaven. Because when you think about it, the most absurd thing of all is that the King of Glory, the Lord of heaven and earth, would create us and love us and die for us. I mean, when you put it that way, it seems that a man who sells everything he has to own to buy a pearl is actually not all that absurd after all. And that's one way to look at the parables, is that God is actually the character in these parables, that God is the one who is selling everything God owns in order to purchase us. Or that God is the one who is making all of this bread, kneading us, if you will, so that we may rise to that newness of life by that yeast. The second big reflection I have in this is the apocalyptic nature of these parables. Apocalyptic as in there will be some sort of ending, some sort of conclusion to time, not apocalyptic as in apocalypse now or sort of the scary vision of the end of the world, but really what Jesus is talking about, apocalypse as in the fullness of time. And what we see here is that there will be a fullness of time, and that, I think, is actually something to celebrate. The bread will be baked, the field will be bought, the fish will be separated. So for us as disciples living in the middle of time, it's important for us to think and to always have in mind that there is a fullness of time coming. So to be vigilant, to hold fast, to remember the absurdity of God's grace in this gospel, and to hold fast to that so that we don't lose sight of that here in the midst of time, but that we remember we are always marching towards the fullness of time. Those are some of my reflections on the gospel lesson for this upcoming Sunday, July 26th. I'd love to hear from you. You can send me an email. You can make a comment in the comment section. God bless you. Stay safe out there and continue to be in touch here on the Holy Comforter Episcopal Church YouTube channel.